This story begins in Egypt. We're introduced to a man named Beshi, who is extremely poor. He collects scrap from garbage piles and sells it to survive. Beshi suffers from a skin disease called leprosy, which, although cured now, has left visible effects on his face and lips. One day, while breaking a stone with a metal rod stuck in it, he injures his foot badly. Beshi owns a donkey cart that he uses to transport the scrap he collects. But that day, he hadn't found much to sell and made very little money. Beshi lives in a leper colony, home to many others affected by the same disease. The colony also has a hospital for treating and caring for the patients. Due to the deep wound on his foot, a doctor advises him to get an extra butt for that. He needs a permit, which requires a signed slip from the colony manager. We also learn that Beshi has a wife who is mentally ill and is being treated at a hospital nearby. The doctor tells him it was necessary to admit her because she posed a danger to their neighbors. But she would recover soon. Beshi has lived in this colony since he was 10 and doesn't even know how or when he got there. He has no memory of his parents or childhood. Beshi then rides his donkey cart to visit his wife. On the way, he passes by an orphanage where a sad boy named Obama sits alone, not playing with the other children. Beshi approaches him. They already know each other. Obama asks to go with him, but Beshi refuses and says he's in a hurry. He tells Obama to meet him the next day at the garbage mountain. Later, Beshi reaches the mental hospital where his wife is being treated. She is in a coma, plays a cassette tape he found, and tells her, "The day you get better, we'll leave this place and go far away." The next day, Beshi waits at the garbage hill, but Obama is seen sitting nearby with 3 shady men known for stealing and criminal activity. Worried, Beshi calls Obama over. He doesn't want him influenced by such people. The men mock Beshi, even suggesting he should remarry since his wife has lost her mind. Beshi doesn't respond and walks away. He asks Obama why he isn't in school. Obama replies that the school is closed today. Just then, a man named Bamba arrives and delivers shocking news. Beshi's wife has died. Beshi is devastated. The funeral takes place the next day with the doctor and Obama also in attendance. Beshi sits at home, heartbroken. Obama visits him, often skipping school just to spend time with him, which Beshi doesn't like. Soon, an elderly woman arrives at the colony. She is Edney's Beshi's wife's mother, something Beshi never knew. He had always believed Edney, like him, was completely alone. The woman says she learned of Edney's death from a letter sent by the colony administration. Beshi is shocked and furious. He storms into the office, demanding to know about his own family. But there's no file or record of him. He was apparently abandoned outside the colony as a child. In contrast, his wife had official documentation. Beshi is crushed. Later, talking to friends, he says he only knows that his family was from Abu and Kina. They try to convince him not to go looking for them. He's already 40. They've likely forgotten him, and even if they remember, no one wants to be associated with someone who had leprosy. They say he won't be allowed on a bus or train, and if he dies, no one would even claim his body. But Beshi is determined. That night, he makes up his mind to find his family, even if he doesn't know where Kina is. He loads up his donkey cart and sets off. On the way, Bamba shows him a rough map and tells him Kina is across the Nile River. Just then, Obama hops onto his cart, but Beshi refuses to take him along and drops him off. Beshi is completely unfamiliar with the outside world. He's never left the colony. He meets 2 men and asks for directions to the Nile, but they mock his appearance and leave. Beshi is used to this kind of ridicule, so he isn't affected. Later, after traveling quite far, Beshi stops and finds Obama hiding on the cart. Angry at first, he tries to send him back, but then feels pity and lets him come along. That night, they sleep beside a small pyramid. Next, they arrive at a village with a river where children are swimming. Obama jumps in, and Beshi begins washing his donkey. Obama urges Beshi to bathe too. Reluctantly, he agrees, but when he enters the river, a woman tells the children to get out, saying he has made the water dirty. Obama realizes the stigma against leprosy is so strong that even animals were welcome in the water. But a cured man wasn't. Beshi accepts this without protest. Later, the cartwheel comes loose. As they fix it, the cart falls, and Obama injures his head and faints. Beshi rushes him to the hospital. The nurse asks him to stay away from the boy, fearing infection. Even though Beshi is cured, she asks if the boy is his son. Beshi replies, "Yes, I'm his father." She tells him to deposit money for the treatment, which he left in the cart near the river. As he rushes to get it, he bumps into a police car. The officer asks for his ID, which is also in the cart. Not believing his story, the cop arrests him. In jail, another inmate is terrified of Beshi's appearance.
Ow.
"You fear me for how I look, but you're in here for the crimes you committed." Both men are later handcuffed together to be taken downstairs. They manage to escape. The man takes Beshi to his criminal gang, and they help him break the handcuffs. Beshi is free again. He reunites with Obama. They both hug emotionally. Obama apologizes, blaming himself for everything. Beshi, though still upset about losing all his money, forgives him. That night, Beshi wonders if they should return to the colony, but Obama refuses. He doesn't want to go back, Beshi recalls how his father left him at the colony as a child, promising to return one day. He never did. In the morning, Obama gives him a cap with a mesh veil to hide his face, so people won't fear him. On the road, they meet a man and his son, who ask for a lift to fix a broken water pump. Beshi agrees. They reach the Nile River, but Beshi and Obama have no money for the ferry. The man kindly pays their fare. That evening, they stop at a small house to spend the night. At midnight, Beshi hears a noise. Looking out the window, he sees that the man and his son are trying to steal his donkey cart. That's when Beshi realizes they've been traveling with thieves all along. Would you like me to help turn this into a script, narration, or a subtitle file? Here is the full English rewrite of your provided story in cinematic, emotional, long-form narration, without shortening or skipping any details, as the man screams. Reacting to Beshi's shout, both boys flee, saving their donkey cart from being stolen. After this incident, Besh decides he won't wait until morning. They must leave immediately. Traveling through the cold desert night, they reach a barren stretch of land. The distance a train approaches, they must catch it. But now their donkey is completely exhausted. After days without food or rest, it simply can't pull the cart anymore. Seeing no other option, Besh detaches the cart, leaving it behind, and continues on foot with the donkey. The donkey, barely clinging to life, struggles with each step. Just then, the train arrives. They manage to load the donkey into the livestock compartment and sneak into the passenger cabin without tickets. After a while, the ticket checker comes through. When he asks for tickets, Besh confesses they have none and no money either. This angers the conductor, who demands they get off immediately. He pushes Besh, knocking off his cap. At that moment, everyone sees the truth: he has leprosy. Shocked and disgusted, the passengers react with fear and hatred. Some shout. Others move away violently. The scene turns chaotic. Broken by the hostility, Besh shouts that he's a human being just like them, but no one listens. They're thrown off the train. Now on foot again, the two continue their journey. Night falls and they find a spot to sleep. But in the morning, Besh awakens to a heartbreaking sight. His beloved donkey has died. Breaks into tears. Together the boys bury the donkey in the desert sand with heavy hearts. Soon after, they flag down a passing vehicle, which drops them off in a city. Besh approaches a shopkeeper and asks where they are. To his shock, he learns they're not in Kenna but in Sohat, a completely different place. Meanwhile, Obama, the young boy, is getting very sick, and they have no food left. Desperate, Besh asks the shopkeeper for something to eat, but he refuses. They sit by the roadside, hungry and hopeless. Not knowing what to do, Besh swallows his pride and begins begging not for himself, but to feed the sick child. Just then, a man with no legs, also begging across the road, confronts them. He says, "This is my spot. You can't beg here." Besh tries to explain he's not truly begging, he just needs something to feed the boy. But the man insists, forcing them to leave. Yet, as they walk away, something in the disabled man's heart softens. He regrets his harshness, riding his small scooter. He catches up with them and says, "Come with me. I want to help." They agree. He takes them to his friend's fellow beggars, who welcome the boys with warmth and food. When someone removes Besh's cap and sees his diseased face, none of them recoil. In fact, they touch his face without hesitation. No fear, no disgust, just kindness. For the first time in a long time, Besha doesn't feel different. That night, he dreams of himself standing in front of a mirror, not as a diseased man, but as a handsome young man, a vision of who he used to be, or who he still could be. The next morning, Ahmed, the man who helped them, starts arranging their travel to Kenya. He takes them to a transport yard and pleads with the driver to take them. The driver agrees, and the boys climb into the back of the truck. As they depart, Ahmed says, "If you ever come back, we'll meet again." With those emotional words, the truck begins its long journey. Eventually, they reach Abu Herkena. Besh now has only one mission: to find his family. But something holds him back. He begins to doubt, why would his family accept him now? What if they reject him like the others? Wasn't he better off in the leper colony, among those who understood and accepted him? Instead, he sends Obama alone to their house. When he knocks and gives Besh his name, the brother denies knowing anyone by that name and slams the door. But Obama doesn't tell Besh the truth. That night he says, "Let's rest here. We'll take the first train back." They go to a nearby mosque and spend the night. Outside, Obama plays with local kids when suddenly Besh's brother appears. He approaches Obama, asks questions, and then takes him to the mosque to meet Besh. When Besh sees him, he hides. But his brother calls out, "You don't have to hide anymore. Come home." Where brings Besh to their house, where his wife, children, and their father await. The father is now paralyzed and can barely speak due to a brain stroke. Besh, full of emotion, asks his father, "Do you still hate me?" The old man replies, "I left you there for your own good. I didn't come back not because I didn't love you, but because the people here would have never let you live a normal life." His father's eyes fill with tears. That single tear says everything: his guilt, his pain, his love. Besh reflects on his journey, all the hate, the rejection, the love, the kindness from strangers, and realizes his father might have been right. In the leper colony, people knew him by name. They liked him for who he was. They never judged. In the real world, all he got was stares and fear. After dinner with his family, Besh comes to a quiet realization. This isn't his home anymore. The next morning, Besh and Obama board the train, returning to the place that accepted them, where they truly belonged. And with this final scene, the story ends. Let me know which film you'd like to hear next. Drop it in the comments. I always read your beautiful messages. Thank you so much. If you'd like a title or SEO description for this video, just let me know.